So today we're going to cover a little bit of the Giving Day basics for North State Giving Tuesday. We're going to run through how to register. So if you're returning, it's only once a year that we register, so we want to refresh everyone's minds on how to register. And if you are new to North State Giving Tuesday, we want to make sure that you know how to register to participate. And then from there, we'll go into a brief platform refresher, just a few tips on the organization profile pages and features that you can use to engage donors before we end with a Q&A. We do have future webinars planned to deeper dive into different fundraising tools, so please keep an eye out for those. This is really just how to get started and what to do as we begin registration phase. So a little bit about the Giving Day. North State Giving Tuesday is an online giving event. It is for organizations and people in Shasta, Siskiyou, Tehama, Modoc, and Trinity counties. Giving Tuesday 2025 will be on December 2nd. This is the second year in a row that Giving Tuesday is in December, so a little bit different than we're used to, but very excited. It's always the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, so that's easy to remember. So December 2nd this year, it will be a 14-hour giving period. And this is for online donations. Direct your donors to North State Giving Tuesday to help support this 5-area counties. As far as how to register, if you have participated in the past, you definitely need to register again. This is an annual process that we do to ensure that all organizations are up to date and opted into the current North State Giving Tuesday. And of course, if you're new, we definitely want you to register so that we know you want to participate. So to register, you will visit northstategives.org and click Login in the top right corner. Whether you are new or returning, you will click the login button and you'll either create an account or log back into your existing account. If you've forgotten your password, there's a real easy forget your password button that you can press and have your password reset sent to your email. If you continue to not find your password or have trouble with the reset, you can always reach out to support@mightycause.com and we are happy to help you with that. Once you've created your account or logged in, you will be clicking Register Now on that homepage. So northstategives.org, Register Now is the first large button on the website that you'll see. And when you click that button, you will get to the North State Giving Tuesday registration form. You will want to identify the organization you're registering for. So in that field entry space, you can enter your organization name or EIN number. The easiest way to find your organization is EIN because we use the IRS database to inform our website of who the IRS organizations are. So with the EIN, you'll ensure that you got your exact organization. There are some with similar names across we're nationwide, so just want to make sure you find your correct one. Alternatively, if you're already an admin of an organization, you'll see this quick click and go version where you can just click the radio button and continue with registration because our site remembers who you are from last year. If for some reason you cannot find your organization through either of these paths, you will click this Create It Now link, and that will submit a form to our support team to help you get associated with your organization or to create a page on our site. So search by EIN, use the quick click and go, or use Create It Now to request an organization page. Once you have done that, if you have found your organization, you will fill out the registration form, and you can either save and finish later if you need to, or you can submit on the spot. I recommend finishing it all in one sitting and submit on the spot so you don't have to go back and figure it out to finish later. However, if you are interrupted with an important call during your registration process, you can save and finish later to be able to come back and save your work. If on the previous step you chose Create It Now, so you're requesting a new organization or access to an organization, you will need to wait for the support team to get you associated with an organization to come back and start again at step 1. Log in, find your organization once it's created, and then continue with this process. So just a hint there, if you cannot find your organization, it will take a little bit of time to get you associated there, and then you'll be able to register. Before we go into the platform refresher, I'm just going to check the chat and see if we have any questions so far. I'm not seeing any, so hopefully that means this process is either familiar or very straightforward for anyone who's new. So we can jump into a platform refresher training on organization pages, and if anything comes up about registration, we can always come back question-wise to discuss registration. All right, I'm just going to switch my screen to our other site. All right. So anytime you visit our platform to use North State Giving Tuesday tools, you will always want to visit northstategives.org. That just ensures that you are associated with the correct platform on our site. When you do that, you'll click Login in the top right corner to log into the site. I'm already logged in, so when I need to visit my organization page, I'll click my name and click on my organization page here. If I were registering, I would just go right here and click Register Now, and that will take me to the registration form. But once I've registered, I probably want to visit my organization page and view a few things. So on the overview screen, which is the first screen you get to, you will see that donations are disabled. That's okay. That just means that the donations haven't opened for early giving yet. So everyone should see donations are disabled. My message in this example is registration is now open. That means I have not started a registration for North State Giving Tuesday, so I need to go register. If your registration has been submitted, you'll see registration is pending for North State Giving Tuesday. If for some reason you have saved and want to finish later, you will actually see registration is incomplete for North State Giving Tuesday. So you can always check your status here on that overview screen and figure out what maybe needs to be done next. The main place we're going to focus right now on this refresher is the organization page tab. If for some reason your menu disappears and this is your view, you don't have that menu on the side, all you have to do is click the 3 lines over here to get it back and open it up again. So this is a collapsible menu. If you don't see it, you haven't lost it, you just need to open it up again. Once you're on your organization page, you may or may not be in edit mode by default, so you'll want to toggle into edit mode if you are not already in edit mode, and that will populate all of the editing icons for your organization page. The main thing you'll want to do is double check, is my logo current or do I have a logo at all? If not, the first thing you'll do is probably want to upload an image for your logo, and this should be your organization logo. This is the same image that will populate in the search feed, I guess we'll call it the search feed. So brand recognition is important. You might have a nice photo of a program or something else, but really we want your logo to go here on that main image. If you have a great program photo or other photo, you can always use that as the banner image. So you can click that photo icon, change your banner image. When you upload a photo from any of these sources, you can then crop it right on the screen. The banner image is a 3:1 ratio, so if you're using Canva to design something, just keep that in mind, there's a 3:1 ratio there. Additionally, you'll want to double check that your name is still current. If you have changed names or you are known by a different name in the community than your display name, you can use this pencil icon here to update your name. This title should always be your organization name because again, that informs the search feed. So we want your logo and your name to be completely up to date and accurate for brand recognition purposes. Everyone's metrics were reset. We did a mass reset back to 0 so that everyone can start tallying donations when donations open for North State Giving Tuesday 2025. However, you may want to update your goal if you have a new goal for this year, or just double check that that goal is still accurate so that your donations are counting towards your most up-to-date goal. Another option that you have is to change the metrics that are showing. So you'll see as I add and remove metrics, there's live update happening, kind of behind this little screen, so you can see what that looks like and decide if you want to show dollars and donors or just one of those two. You can also decide if you want to include your offline donations in the overall metrics using this checkbox here. In your About section, this is where you can tell a little bit of a story about your organization. Ideally, donors visit your page, they see your logo, they see your name, and they click donate. That's the ideal situation. They're going to just go right to the donate feature. If they want to learn a little bit more, that's what the About section is for. You can have several things in the About section. We have this lovely WYSIWYG editor with lots of options, even photos and videos. So if you are into marketing, into design, and you want to design this About section, to be similar to this here where we have different size fonts and a video inserted, you can definitely do that using these tools. You'll just click insert video and paste the video URL or upload an image here. You can even drop it right there in the box. However, if you do not have the capacity or the tech comfortability to do something like that, you can always copy paste text from your website right into this box. Maybe your about section. This has the example, our vision and what we do. So you can always bring over text from your website and not feel you have to recreate something. So kind of two options there, and there's always that in between, maybe copy paste a little bit and design a little bit. I do want to point out with the paragraph formatting, this is where you can change the size of your text. So that little paragraph symbol is where you can change text size. And then you also have bold, italic, underline, etc. here as well. Oh, once you have designed your about section, you'll definitely want to click save. Always click this save button here to ensure that you save your work. I myself have forgotten it, so definitely make sure you click save. Next on your page is your featured campaigns section. This is a section where you can feature peer-to-peer fundraisers if you have a specific initiative around peer-to-peer fundraising. We will spend time in a later webinar talking about peer-to-peer fundraising and how to set those fundraisers up. But just keep in mind as we get to that point that you can show or hide featured campaigns where you specify a specific fundraising effort in this box here. All of the following sections I'm showing you are also completely optional. So if you don't use peer-to-peer as a strategy or campaigns as a strategy, you can simply hide this section. And you'll see it has a placeholder in it when I'm in edit mode. The one section I always recommend adding is the giving activity section. So when you visit your page for the first time, it may look like this. You'll just click plus giving activity. And once donations start coming in, this will populate with a donor feed to recognize donors on your page. That's the easiest section to add. Once it's added, it will self-populate. You don't have to do anything else. So I definitely recommend adding that giving activity feed for just a little more donor engagement with a very low effort. Another section that will self-populate is also supporting campaigns. So if you have lots of peer-to-peer fundraisers, you don't have a specific strategy around those, but you do want peer-to-peer fundraising to be a strategy, you can always just show all campaigns supporting your organization with this tab. So this is different than that previous. The featured campaigns, you will select specific campaigns to show up. With this tab down here, this will show all campaigns, and it will always just put the most recently updated one first. So it'll kind of prioritize those active pages, whether that's updates to the story, donations coming in, updates to settings. We try to keep the most active pages kind of prioritized there. So again, that's a really easy one to add and not have to touch again once it's added. Below that, you have the media gallery, and this is where you can add more photos. Again, you'll see that familiar photo uploader. If you use local files, that's just your computer files. So local files will get you to your computer. And you can add additional images here. So if you have more than 2 or 3 images in that about section, you may want to start bringing images down to the media gallery just to ensure that everything is clean on mobile experience. And then finally, you have your organization data section where you can add additional contact information such as your website, a phone number, an email. You can add your social media. If you click add another, you'll be able to select, now we have Facebook and X and Instagram. And as you add these little symbols will start popping up under social media. So play around here and see what you might need to update. This is your display address. This is distinct from your legal address. So if you update this address, that's just your public facing address if you have kind of a mailing and a public. The last place I want to go on this call for the refresher is the checkout section. You have the option to change your thank you page. So for thank you for donating, you can have a custom message here. You'll see it's that same WYSIWYG editor. And you can create a custom thank you message here that will populate as soon as a donor makes a donation. So when they click confirm on their donation, confetti flies on the screen and all of the thank you messages show up. So you can easily add a nice thank you message here. Again, you have the option to add image or video. Maybe you have a thank you video, thank you image from Canva. Whatever makes sense for you can go in here, short or long, no pressure there. And then you have a custom button that you can either direct them back to your page to make another donation, or you can direct them somewhere else. So if you have an event coming up, if you have a newsletter for donors, you can, make the button text sign up for newsletter and then the URL to your newsletter sign up. So a couple of options there. The default just takes them back to your profile page. So that is the thank you page settings. And then the donation form settings, it looks like we need to enable, but those would be where you can select your custom donation amounts and the descriptions on your donation form. So for $25, support 3 cats, or $50, donate diapers for infants, that kind of thing. So the donation form settings will be enabled shortly. I'm not seeing any questions in the chat, so I just want to open it up again. If you have questions about these features that we covered, your organization page, your registration status, we're happy to answer them on the call. We have a smaller group, so we can even answer, individual questions if needed about your organization specifically.
And Grace, while we're waiting, because I do see a couple newer organizations, would you mind pulling up the registration landing page that they would see once you have logged in and created, you linked up with your organization that you're representing? I wish that was as easy as it all was, but of course the IRS and the state doesn't make it that easy. So once you have all that done, then you're going to register. And so there's registration questions that you'll be guided through and you'll have to answer and submit. And so this registration landing page is where you will end up once you've logged in and everything. And been linked to your organization. And we do our very best. I know that it looks very wordy, but we do our very best to help guide you through the process. So outlining ahead of time what the criteria is so that you know and you can have those discussions with your board if you're trying to determine if you should participate or not. There's a PDF a little bit lower down that tells you, shows you screenshots to take you through the process. A whole bunch of, as many resources and tools as we can think of to give you. And then there is a registration fee associated with registration as well. And that is based on your operating budget on a sliding scale. That's on there as well. So just wanted to make sure that you all know, because I don't want anybody to put off registering. It's not, unfortunately, just signing in. It is filling out the form as well, but we're here to help you navigate any questions if it's your first time or if you're uncertain of anything. Thanks, Grace.
Yeah, thank you for the reminder on that. And the registration fee will prompt you to pay that fee when you submit your registration form. So it's all done right up front at one time.
Yep. Looks like we did get one question from Janet, and I will let Grace answer. Do you feel having a specified goal amount makes individuals think about their donation? Can we set a goal to high, or should we start lower and adjust during the day if we meet our goal?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I do think a goal motivates donors, and donors want to see that you haven't quite reached your goal. So I do like you're already thinking ahead. Should you be updating the goal throughout the day? The answer is yes, as you start to reach your goal. Obviously, it's cool to get very, very close, but as you get too close, kind of inch it forward a little by little. Donors seem to, if you've met your goal, they seem to kind of be like, oh, well, maybe someone else needs funding, and we know that everybody needs funding. So just taking away that mental barrier. And then as far as how much to set it to begin with, if you've participated in the past, I would say just increase by, I don't know, 5 to 10%, just depending, how much you did raise, anywhere from 5 to 10% or more if you'd like to. And then I think if you are new to the event, I don't know, Miriam, do you have a suggested goal for a new participant?
Yeah, you know what? We always really encourage attainable goals because not only are your donors wanting to see you succeed, you want your staff to be excited about it. You want to feel good about it. So especially in your first year, make it something realistic and attainable. We see the gamut. North State Giving Tuesday doesn't automatically mean that you're going to get funding. It takes the time and it doesn't take a lot of time. But it does take time to share out with your board members and share out with your current donors, find ways to tell your community members about your participation. So for our first year folks, we'll see anywhere from often between 500 to sometimes up to $3,000 raised in their first year. And it really is reflective of how much work they're able to put into promoting the campaign leading up to it. So, kind of gauging how much time and effort do you have to put into this? How much are you guys going to be pushing this maybe over other year-end goals that you might have at your organization? Unfortunately, it's kind of a one-off, one-by-one decision. I'm always happy to chat and strategize with you guys one-on-one. If you shoot me an email or give me a call. I don't know. I don't have a magic crystal ball either, but I'm happy to give you my opinion, whether you want it or not.
Awesome. And then I will say, if you will get into matching grant tools in a future webinar, but if you secure a matching grant, you can always make the total of the grant your goal. So if you get a $500 matching grant or a $1,000 matching grant, your goal could just be to meet the match total. So I think sometimes that can help if you secure a donor for a matching grant.
Mhm. Yep. Yep. Cool.
Then someone else can decide for you.
There you go.
All right, I'm not seeing any other questions in the chat, so I think we are going to wrap it up unless someone is typing. So I just want to say thank you again for your time today. Very excited to see North State Giving Tuesday continue to grow. Very happy there's some new faces on the call. So
Mhm.
Miriam, I'll hand it off to you if you have any final words, and I think we can wrap it up.
Excellent. Yeah, thanks so much for joining us today. And if you're watching this recording later, to everyone, if you guys need help, we're here at the Community Foundation, and the email address is on the website. As Grace mentioned before, there's also a question mark button on the website. You can see it in the screen share right there. That will help you submit that contact button. Any technical questions or issues to Mighty Cause directly. So either way, we're here to help you. You can ask for help from both of us and then get twice the answers. We want you guys to be successful. That is our goal. So thank you so much. Looking forward to a great year. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone.